All right, Miss Annette, please introduce yourself, your name, and your career, and a fun fact about yourself, because I love
Okay.
throwing in fun facts.
Okay. My name is Annette. You already know that.
Yes.
And I'm a photographer and am in my first year of college.
How cool. What college are you going to?
I'm going to PC for 2 years.
Yeah, and it's all online, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it is
Oh
for
my
the fall
God.
semester.
How do
So,
you feel about that?
hmm?
How do you feel about that?
um, I was planning on doing most of it online anyway because, oh my gosh, as you can see, I'm so nervous just talking to you.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I like it. And
it's
I have
fun.
been in high school online as well, so it's like nothing really changed.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about this now is you could have been one of my students,
Yeah, are you
right?
a high school teacher?
So I am a full-time teacher. I teach video production.
Oh, awesome. I did
Yeah.
my freshman year, I went to like an actual high school
Yeah.
and I was in an MTA program, like
Yeah,
multimedia.
yeah. So wait, you did high school homeschool
Yeah, like online from
because of your business?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm
Yeah.
learning so many new things. I love that. Okay, so you are a freshman in college, so you just graduated high school as of June?
No, I graduated 5 months early in December.
Oh my gosh, Annette, you are so badass. Okay. And tell us a fun fact about yourself.
Um,
Do you have any fun facts? Any cool things we should know?
I don't know.
Can you do any cool tricks?
Honestly, my life just revolves around my family, my
Yeah.
business, and school. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. So you're very dedicated.
Yeah.
Love that. So I actually discovered you through Instagram
Mhm.
and I follow the hashtag, I think it's like Visalia Photographers or something like that. And you came up and I'm like, who is this girl? And then I realized you were so young. And I'm like, whoa, this girl has a full on photography business. And you were probably 17 when I discovered you, 16 maybe. How did that come about? It really blows my mind that you're able to be so successful so young and that you found your niche so young because so many people don't know what they want to do. I'm a high school teacher. I see it all the time. I'm like, what are you going to do when you graduate? I don't know. So please tell us about your story and how your photography business journey started. I know that's like a lot, but try to take us through that.
Okay. I kind of wrote it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think it all started when I was in middle school. My cousin had a camera, and she would like
Okay.
let me mess around with it and stuff. And that's when I really was like, oh, I kind of like this. Like I like taking pictures. And then we went on a trip and she let me borrow it and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like at first I was kind of into like video, like making videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I made a whole video out of that trip and that's kind of more like what I liked.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then my 8th grade year for graduation, I got like a little present. It was my first camera. And
Cool.
that's what I used for like a long time.
What was it, if you don't
Like
mind me asking?
a Canon 5 like i5 or something or
Okay.
5T or I don't know, like one of the Rebels.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know the numbers. But that's what I use, and I would only take pictures of my niece, and I like opened an account because I was like, I'll just put it on there so I won't blow up my other account.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, and then I was all pictures of my niece. She got so tired of me, like,
Yeah. That's my kids
and
because they're so
yeah,
tired of pictures. Yeah.
and it was like my freshman year in like November around there. These girls asked me to take their senior pictures, and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, do I want to do this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I did it, and it was crazy. I literally charged them like, I think it was like $40 for like three
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Wild. And
Yeah.
now I think about it and I like laugh because I'm like, that's so crazy. But that's how I started. And after that, I never had in mind like, oh, I want to start a business.
Right.
Like that was never in my mind. Like I just thought like, oh, I can do this for fun. Like just take pictures of my family and stuff.
Right.
Um, But after that, people just started asking me to take their pictures, and it just went from there. Like the other day, I was telling one of my cousins, I was like, I honestly, like, I don't even know how I got here. Like, it just happened,
Yeah.
like, think of an eye. Like, it's so crazy.
That is
Uh,
exciting.
yeah.
So that the first senior portraits that you took, how old were you then?
Oh,
Probably
that
like
was, I had just
15?
started my freshman year.
So 14, 15?
I think I was 14.
Yeah. So you've been in this game for a while.
I was 14. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's insane. So now, what does that journey look, what does your business look like now? You're not doing $40 photo shoots anymore. How many clients are you doing like per week?
Per week?
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes I'll have like weeks where I go like every day, like
Yeah.
like maybe 2 every day or 1 every day.
Yeah.
Um, but and then some weeks I'm like I just need a break. Like
Right.
I'll space them out, or sometimes just do the weekends.
Yeah.
But per week, ooh, I don't know. Like
It depends.
yeah, it depends. But per
Yeah.
month, averages like maybe 15 to 20.
15 to 20 like lifestyle sessions.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness, you're
yeah,
busy.
yeah.
And you're doing school on top of that.
If I do like every day, like literally every day, I try to take Sundays off.
Yes.
But
Yep.
if I do like every day, it'll be more than 20. But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very curious about this because I'm a high school teacher and a lot of my kids start like an entrepreneurial gene. I always tell them because I have a great what's the right word? I have a great inventory of things. I have so I teach introduction to video and advanced film production. And in my advanced class, I let the kids be a little bit more entrepreneurial. And I have 6D Mark IIs, 5D Mark IVs. Like I have all of this stuff for them. And I'll tell them like, hey, check out the equipment, check it out for the weekend, start doing little gigs here and there. Like I'm all for it.
Yeah.
The one thing that holds them back is they think they're too young. And whenever they approach adults, they feel they're not going to, they're going to be either taken advantage of or they're going to be like, you're 17. Like, what do you know about this field? So
Yeah.
have you experienced that because of your age?
I mean, I'm sure some people, like when I first started, maybe like had their own opinions about it.
Yeah.
But as for my family, they were very supportive, and they still are like so
Yeah.
supportive about it. Like obviously, my mom let me do online
Yeah.
to focus more on it. But my biggest thing was more like what are like my friends gonna think and stuff.
Oh,
But
really?
my friends at the time were very supportive. They were like hype me up all the time.
Good.
But yeah, that's how they were at the like my friends at the time. So I didn't really like think about like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this.
Okay.
Like in
Yeah.
ways like how sometimes people will think that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't really. I don't know. I
So
really.
if I were me, a 30-year-old mom with 2 kids, I'm like, hey, Annette, would you photograph me? And this is you at 15.
Yeah.
Would you feel any belittlement like, oh my gosh, this grown woman is approaching me? Or were you a little scared at all? Or how did you feel?
Okay, like that. Yeah, I still
Yeah.
get nervous for every session.
Yeah.
4 years into it, like I still get nervous. So whenever anybody would ask me, honestly, I would just get nervous, and I'd feel like, oh my gosh, there's like all these other good photographers and they're choosing me. Like, what the heck?
Mhm.
Especially when I knew like they would go to other, like they've been to other photographers, but they like chose to come to me. I don't know. It was just like at first it was like, oh my gosh, like I would get so nervous. Like I have to like be like these other photographers that they've
I
been to.
see. Yeah.
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 Which later on I learned that like that's the worst thing you could do is compare yourself to everybody
Hmm.
else.
Hmm.
But that is how I felt for like the first like maybe year or two.
Yeah. How did you start learning? So you got a camera,
Mhm.
and how did you start learning about editing and Lightroom and, this and that? I actually remember you mentioned to me that you had like a mentor photographer, right? Is that right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
So I at first though, when I like the first year or two, I just learned off of YouTube,
Yep.
everything off of YouTube.
Yep.
Like literally everything, how to work my camera properly, the best lenses,
Yep.
uh, like the computer that I needed and stuff. Everything I
Hmm.
just learned off of YouTube. like I wouldn't ask other people because
Yeah.
I didn't really know who to ask.
Of course. Yep.
And then I think I did a mentoring session like towards like 3 years into it. I think I did it last year or the year before.
Yeah.
I don't somewhere around there. And she really helped me a lot. I went to Kayla Sparza. Have you heard of her?
No, I need to look her up.
Okay. She's from Sacramento. So bomb.
Okay.
So good. And I had been following her before I even started my business. So
Yeah.
like she has like so many followers now, and I was following her when she had like 5,000 or something like that. It
Yeah.
was crazy. And she really helped me a lot, like as far as pricing and like taxes and all of that stuff, like
Yes.
the Lightroom and literally on everything you could think of for a photography business. She
Yeah.
helped me with it. And it was like one of the biggest, like, that was like the first time that I had spent a lot of money on my business, like an
Yeah.
investment, and it was like the best. Yeah, and then she gave me like some of these presets, and I literally, once I started using those presets and like
Yeah.
putting to work what I had learned, my
Yep.
business just went like
Took
off.
off.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So for those that are listening, presets are basically, I hate comparing it to this, but it's basically like a filter in a sense.
yeah,
But it's more to that. So it's basically you come up with an edit, like I want my saturation here, I want my shadows, blah, blah, blah. You come up with all these settings and you save it. And then that way you could just paste it on your pictures. And it's more to it than just that. You paste it and then some coloring might be off, so then you adjust and things like that. But that's what she's mentioning are the presets. So how was the experience with her? You're a teenager still and you go to Sacramento?
no, we did it through Skype.
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
Okay, so you do it through Skype. And I love that you mentioned you've learned everything off of YouTube. I am self-taught on everything: video, photography, Lightroom, Photoshop, Final Cut Pro, everything. So I get all of these questions all the time in my DMs, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Blah, blah, blah. It's like YouTube and Google.
yeah.
YouTube
Honestly,
and Google.
feel bad telling people that, but
I know, it's so true though.
it really is. Like, I learned everything off of YouTube. Like, honestly, like I have these certain channels that I have saved because I learned from all of their videos,
Yep.
and then I just send them a screenshot of my saved people, and then I just send it to them, and I'm like, watch all of their videos, and all of your questions will be answered better than I could have answered them.
I agree. And I think it's just time and dedication. If you really, really want to focus and learn something, you're going to make the time for it.
Yeah.
So if it takes this 30-minute YouTube video, you're going to watch it. And some people want the easy access. Like, no, Annette, I need you to tell me exactly step by step what it is that I need to do. But take advantage of your free resources. I mean, Google and YouTube, seriously, I have no degree in photography and it doesn't. Is your degree going to be in photography?
Teacher.
Oh my gosh, no way. How
Yeah.
cool. Okay. You could teach photography.
Can I really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I
It's
really
like,
want a kindergarten teacher.
oh, I could totally see you doing that. Super cute. Um, so if you could give advice to someone in your situation when you first started, are maybe they're hesitant to start, maybe they think they're too young, they're not talented enough, they don't know enough. What is like your top piece of advice that you could give them?
Honestly, it all takes time. Like, when you start, you're not going to be the best. It's going to take time. And just go for it. Honestly, everybody says that, but honestly, just go for it. If you want to do it, then do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, just go and do it.
And it's true. Okay, so I think your generation, because I see it, I have 120 something kids a year, is they're so focused on what everybody else has to say. It's so focused. Like, oh, what is Cindy and Susie going to say about this? Or what if I post this? Or what if I'm doing work? And like, who gives a shit is what I say all the time. Like, it doesn't matter. If you're passionate about it, you should start it.
Hmm.
This is your life. And
Hmm.
are you going to be living it through other people's guidelines?
Yeah, or your
or
own.
or your own, which is the best. Whenever you could find authentically yourself and the way that you want to live life and what you want to do, that's the best feeling. So I see if you are younger generation and you're listening, who gives a shit about what everybody thinks? Like it.
Let's go for it.
And I'm so glad you found that out younger in life, because when I was your age, I did not know that, and I cared deeply.
No, like I mentioned earlier, I did think about like what are like kids, and because I was a freshman in high school, and that's
Oh
like
yeah,
so scary.
yeah,
And I was like, what are all of these people gonna think, you know? Like,
yeah,
I don't want them to think that I felt like better than everybody else, because I
yes,
didn't. I really did not. Like, I
right,
knew I wasn't the best. I was just doing what I loved. I was
yes,
fun. And then I had like some friends book me and stuff, and then I was like, oh, okay, well they like do support me, you know?
right, right. So you did go through a journey of self-discovery,
Yeah,
of
yeah, I did.
not allowing people to dictate what you wanted to do.
Yeah,
I like that. So you mentioned that you started at like $40.
I did.
How did you find out your price point at first in comparison to now?
Well, honestly, I was just like, I didn't. So you know how I told you that it was like 3 hours.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
did. It was like these two friends, and they had booked me together.
Okay, got it.
It was. I didn't really think like what should I charge them. I was just like 40
Yeah.
bucks. I'm good. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We literally drove all around Porterville just taking pictures. And I didn't really think much about it
Yeah.
until like I started getting more people like to
Mhm.
ask me to take their pictures, and I slowly just went up to like I would just go, I would literally go up like $20,
Mhm.
because I got like a new lens, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
let me just go up $20.
Yeah.
And I was like at 60, and then I just slowly started going up as I started getting newer and nicer equipment, you know?
Yep.
Which I think that's how everybody should um,
Yes.
do their prices. Obviously, that and your time as well.
Mhm.
But every time you get something new, honestly,
Mhm.
an expensive piece like a camera or a lens.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. You mentioned at this mentorship, she asked, or you kind of talked about taxes and pricing. Was pricing one of the subjects you guys talked about?
Yeah, yeah.
What
And
were her top tips to you?
oh, I have to look for my notebook where I literally filled up like 10 pages
Oh wow.
of
Yeah.
everything that we talked about, because it was like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But she really just told me to take into account, like, obviously what you have to pay for taxes,
Yep.
and what you have to, like, what you're going to pay yourself per hour. Because
Yes.
obviously it's not just that 1 hour.
After taxes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
What you're going to pay yourself per hour, because it's not just that one, like, hour that you're taking the pictures. It's like the 3-4 hours after editing, you know?
Hmm.
So that, and also like your equipment and everything.
Hmm.
But she also, one of the big things that she told me was, look at everybody else's prices around you, because
Right.
you don't want to, you want to, like, you want people in your like city or town to book you, you know? So
Yeah.
you don't want to be like out of their price range,
Right.
you know? Because you can't be like charging like an LA photographer in
Correct.
Portland. Like
Yeah.
it'll just be too expensive for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I did, and I would kind of like base it off of that. Like
Yeah.
I can't go too under, but I can go like way high, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'm just curious now, from as a photographer to photographer, are you doing your own taxes or do you have someone doing them for you?
I go to somebody else. I go to the guy my parents go to.
Okay. After this, I'm going to talk to you about that because I'm looking for a good person because I'm
Okay.
like, taxes, too much. Keeping up with, okay, so people don't realize that as a photographer, you're an independent contractor and you, depending on how you have your business set up, I have a sole, I can't say that word, that. So for reference, out of every session, 30%, I automatically just take it and put it into a different account for my taxes. And I don't
Mhm.
see it. Like, I literally will just blindly take 30% and dump it over here. And then the remainder is what I work with. And then you have to take into account, okay, if I'm going to be editing for 6 hours and I break down this remaining total for 6 hours, am I getting paid like $6 an hour to do this? Is it worth it? So then you kind of fixate what it is. And yeah, keep into account all your equipment costs, advertising costs, website costs, gosh, so many things. Traveling, we travel a lot. So there's a lot that takes into account to run a business. And it's not necessarily just paying yourself, which yes is like the baseline, but then you have to think about business growth. Like you want like a little bit more to reinvest back into your business. So there's a lot of things to take into account. And girl, I'm so proud of you that you figured that out like so early in life, because I'm still figuring that out. Every year I analyze my prices as well, and then I'll just keep going up. In the very beginning, however, I shot a lot of stuff for free, $0. And then, yes, it went to like 40 and 60. And then you're like editing for 10 hours. And you're like, oh my gosh, this isn't worth it for this much. So then you start to reevaluate. So you manage so much on your day to day. I can't imagine. Well, I can, because I see people your age all the time. But I didn't know you were doing homeschooling. So that really, really excites me, because that means you're really taking on entrepreneurship, like a whole different level of entrepreneurship. Tell us, what is your process on staying organized? I am such a planner, and I love lists, and I love like this. Are you a planner? Are you a digital planner? Do you make lists? Do you concentrate on weeks by weeks? Like, tell me your whole, yes, go.
So when I was in high school, when I
Yeah.
started doing, well, my freshman year wasn't really like, I wasn't really that busy. So
Mhm.
I had time to do like all this other stuff. But
Yeah.
when I started doing online, I felt like I had to like really like focus, like
Uh-huh.
set something apart for it.
Yeah.
I knew I had to do that. I didn't. That was my biggest mistake. I didn't have a schedule. I didn't have my main priority from my sophomore year to senior year was my business.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But like I was like, school is there,
Yeah.
but I need my business.
Okay.
Um, it wasn't. I looking back at it, it wasn't the best decision. It really affected my grades and everything. Yeah, it was. Don't do that. Really just focus on school, and on your leftover time, like do whatever you want, like your passion, but school comes first. That was a mistake that I did in high school, but it really changed now that I'm in college. I have a list. I have time where I like, from this time to this time I work, and from this time to this time I do school.
Good.
uh, because yeah, we're not trying to go back to how we were in high school. But I always found, like, my cousins would always tell me, like, how do you have time, how do you like even like turn your sessions, like give it to them, like give it to the people, when like we don't even see you do that, we just see you like on the couch.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know how I would do it, but I would do my homework, and then I would do the work, like I would get it done at some point. It was crazy though. I would not. I don't recommend that to anybody though.
Yeah. Do you
Really
mind me asking what
schedule.
what your zodiac sign is really quick? Do you know?
Don't know. I'm not really like into that
No,
stuff.
what year, what month are you born, or what's your birthday?
April 21st.
Okay, I'm gonna look into it. Okay, continue.
Any difference? Um, yeah, look it up and tell me.
Yeah.
um, but I do recommend having a schedule,
Hmm.
list, like a to-do list. Now I have my to-do list where I'm like, I need to turn this session in, this one, and this one. Like, it's so much easy, but it's like stress-free, like you don't have to stress out about like, oh, I need to finish the session really fast. Like,
Great.
you have to like, no.
Yeah.
So it's so much more like calming now. Like, oh,
Good.
I have the schedule and everything. It took me some time to grow up.
Yeah. You're still growing up, girl. Don't worry about that. So, do you do digital or like an actual physical planner? Like
Oh
what?
no, I got, at first I would do like an actual, just like a regular notebook.
Yeah.
I invested in an iPad because
Yeah.
during quarantine I was so bored.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those like month and a half that photographers couldn't even shoot. So I was like,
Yeah.
what do I do? So I
Yep.
started doing like those little drawings, like you know, like
Yes.
portraits.
I did those. I'm doing those too.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my cousin and my niece were doing them, and I was
I
like,
saw that. Yeah.
so I started doing them just for fun, and then
Yeah.
I was like, wait, this is actually good. So I use it, like all of my school stuff is on here, and like I take my notes and my planner and everything is on my iPad.
Yeah. So including your like schedules and everything on the iPad now too.
Yeah.
How awesome. So I actually do it all. I love calendars and I love lists. I have a calendar right in front of me. I have like a board of listing right behind me. I have a physical agenda that I write in, and I also do a daily to-do list on my iPad as well. That's somewhere here.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like all over the place, but I love it that way. It's kind of a weird thing about me. Like I love to write it in the agenda, and then I like to I don't do as much digital things for planning. I like to physically write it down. As digitally, I'm like a really digital person, but I don't like my planners to be online. Yeah, it's kind of,
Because I like can draw and stuff, and I don't know, make it all cute.
and it's so soothing, right? Oh, I love it so much. Have you been using Procreate?
I do. That's what I use
Yeah.
for like for the drawings and stuff.
Yes.
This other app that I use for Good Notes.
Good notes. I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's so fun. I can just like highlight and stuff, and
Okay,
I love it.
I'm gonna look into good notes as well. Okay, so do you look at your week to week? So like Monday morning, are you planning for the week, or how do you schedule out what's happening for the week?
Well, during the summer, like obviously I have to like incorporate school in there
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. So I started college in June. So when I started, I knew when my classes were and when I had to like log on.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually wake up like around 9, around there.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, I had to for school, I had to like get used to waking up like at 7:30 because I had an 8 a.m. class.
Yes.
So I would start my day then, and then so school would be from 8 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what I would put my schedule as. And
Yeah.
then after 12, like I could do like work or
Business
what.
stuff. Yeah. Um, if someone is currently listening right now and they want to turn their passion into career, which is, I'm all about that. It doesn't even have to be photography. If you love basketball, somehow turning that into a career. If you love plants, somehow making that into career. I am a biggest believer, and I'm trying to teach this to my own children, is your job takes up a majority of your life. It's just the truth. So
Yeah.
why not do something that you absolutely love to do? That's my goal for everyone in life. So if someone has a passion, let's say it's water, super random. Their passion is water. What is your top advice to turn it into a career?
That's a hard question.
So you can reference it back to yourself. Like you knew photography was your passion. How did you know that you could eventually grow into make this your income? How you make life?
Well, like I mentioned before, I did it.
Yeah, true.
I didn't really like think about it. It really just happened. Like I
Yeah,
wasn't really trying.
yeah.
But I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way now that
I
it's
think that is the best rule for everything. When something is so natural and easy, that's how you know you're meant to be there.
yeah.
Because it's just what you're meant to do. It doesn't it ever boggle your mind when you're like, I'm getting paid to do like this cool thing.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, how do I deserve
Like
this?
I'm like, how did I even end up here?
Yes. So
Yeah.
same thing. Let's say water is your passion. You just love water. I actually just watched an episode of Zac Efron on Netflix, and he travels, and there's an episode where the leader's talking about water. Did you watch that?
So my cousin watched it and she has been telling me that I need to watch it because I'm so like everybody in my family knows like I'm so picky with my water. Like
Oh my
you
gosh, yeah.
lay it all out. You can lay like every brand out and I can like name them because
Got
I
it.
love water.
So you
Um,
need to watch that episode then, because he talks about water.
yeah,
So
I need to watch it because she keeps telling me to watch it.
so if you're passionate about water, this is so random, how can you make that into a career? There's so many different ways that you can explore. I, for one, when I wanted to be a photographer, actually, same thing. I didn't know I would end up here. I had a passion for video. And growing up, I loved video. YouTube started and I was just obsessed. I'm like, oh my God, what is this video thing everybody's doing? And I learned it all on my own. And I went to college to get a business degree. And I worked at a bank. I thought I was going to be there my whole life. And not until I realized I could teach videography in high school. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I could teach what I love to other people? How does that even exist? So, there may be some factors out there that you have a passion for and you didn't even realize that that was a possibility. Does that make sense? So, really explore all of your options. The world is limitless. It really is. There's so much that you could do. Annette, you are proving that. And I could tell that are you very like, well, you explain this to me. Are you very like type A focused, let's get things done? Are you kind of like more fluid, go with the flow kind of person?
Um, I don't think I'm like, yeah, I think I'm more like go with the flow.
Are you really?
I don't think I'm, I mean, actually, well, if I need to get it done, like, I will get it done.
Yeah.
Like, I will get it done.
Yeah.
But I'm like, sometimes I'll like wait till the very last minute, which is, don't do that also. I mean, I don't know. I might be like in between, like the
A little
flow.
bit of both. Well, I think that you have done an amazing job to get yourself to this point of where you are, especially so young. I admire you being this grown old lady and what you're doing. So I want you to please tell everybody where they could find you. Socials. What are your socials?
On Instagram, I really only have Instagram.
Yeah.
It's Annette Photography,
Uh-huh.
or with friends, and you can follow me on my personal account.
Yes.
It's ANXETTE.
ANXETT. And I'll make sure to put all that in the notes too. And you have a website.
Oh yeah, I do have a website. I like always forget. I'm like, what? It's just Annette Vasquez Photography.
How awesome. So I want this to be a message to all of you. If you are young and you are ready to explore, there's a difference between, I see this all the time with my kids and even my own boys. There's two things that I always see. One, you're like, I want to go to college. I have this future career in mind. Perfect. There's other people that I see. They're like, I'm ready to start now. I'm ready to go now.
Yeah.
And you really launched off at that point. And that excites me because it's not the normal route. It's
Yeah.
not what kids are growing up to be introduced to, like, especially being first generation Hispanic people. My parents were like, no, like, what is this photography? You think you're going to do well at it? No, you need a college degree, right? So if you're young and you're listening right now, there are so many different careers and opportunities that are available the non-traditional route, and that's completely okay. It's completely okay. Would you agree?
Yeah, I feel like my mom was also a little hesitant because as I mentioned earlier, I was putting photography like all my focus towards that, and she was like, "Wait, no, you need to go to college." And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I had a phase. I will admit, I had a phase. I was like, I don't want to go to college. Like, what the heck? I'm making like, I'm good. Like, I can live off of this, you know. And I slowly had to, again, grow up and come to the realization that, I mean, I did like photography, but I just felt like it would have, like, maybe like 10, 15 years down the line, like, what am I going to do if, like, this ever, obviously it's never going to, but just in case,
Yeah,
like, anything ever happens, like, I need to have a backup.
I
But it
agree.
is good to, like, you can have, like, you can just be good off of your passion, like what your business that you want to do.
Of course.
You don't have to go to college.
Yes, I agree. I thank you so much for being a part of this today. I think you are something that people really need to hear because they don't think it might be a reality. There's a lot of entrepreneurial hustle spirit right now. It's kind of a little popular, but it's different when someone actually takes initiative and is actually doing it, and you're doing exactly that. So I really appreciate you. Again, I'm going to put all of her links below if you guys want to find her. She's seriously amazing. And follow her. Make sure you like tell her how awesome she is and like keep hyping her up so she continues this. And then she'll be a kindergarten teacher and then it'll be so awesome. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Annette. We appreciate you.